In between traveling for the holidays, I took a moment to plan out what I see coming in the new year and how I want to approach my garden and life in 2026. My mindset for the new year: give myself some grace. I plant a garden to supplement what I get from the grocery store. Like most of us, I have to accept that I don't have the space to be completely self-sufficient, and that's okay. I also have to remind myself that I'm not in a competition or trying to win an award from Good Housekeeping, but simply growing food. It doesn't have to be a picture-perfect garden, but something that fits my needs and grows food. Once I put that thinking into action, gardening will become easier. I have come to accept that no matter how much I obsess over my plants, some things are simply not going to grow. And that is part of gardening. It is not a personal failing on my part or yours, but happens all the time, even in some of those perfect gardens you see online. Ask any farmer and they will tell you you can't predict all the circumstances that will occur with the weather or plants. All you can do is the best that you can do and see what happens. Then, ask myself why it didn't grow. Right at my fingertips is one of the best resources I could ever have, and it is called Google. Yes, I watch videos about what others are doing, but also do a little research on my own to verify what I see online and adapt it to my situation. It only takes a moment, and you too will definitely understand why those plants that look so good in the video might not work for you. I previously planted Boxcar Willie tomatoes, but didn't appreciate how heat and disease resistant they were. So, last season, I planted basic tomato seeds and not the Boxcar Willie type, and was surprised during extreme heat that they didn't produce much, if any, fruit. So this coming season, I'm giving a lot of thought to seed selection and plants that are either native to the area or can tolerate a lot of heat, because the expectation is high heat and dry conditions in Florida during the next growing season. Last growing season, I set up enough rain barrels to collect enough water to last through a month. What I didn't count on was going 6 weeks at a time without rain, which is hard to imagine in Florida, where it usually rains almost daily during the summer. So I went back to that nice couple selling rain barrels and got 2 more. I cut off the tops to get the large bulkhead into the barrel like I did previously. added a similar spigot that would work with a garden hose. I placed the new barrels in another location that gets good rainfall and should take my capacity up to almost 2 months. I haven't figured out all the details, but the plan is to set up a simple drip irrigation system that doesn't cost a fortune. I'll put together the details in the coming months. I know my neighbors thought I was being lazy to let as many leaves as possible fall in my yard before collecting them, but that was part of the plan. I raked the leaves into piles and figured out that each pile was about 3 garbage bags. And here is my haul to use later in the garden. I did my usual grinding up some for quick soil feeding. Then I raked leaves from the backyard to top off the beds with ground cover, which is what you might see in a forest, and seems to work well there for growth. A couple of months ago, I cut vines from sweet potatoes and put them in water to create slips. They've been sitting on a windowsill in my kitchen and are doing well in the low light. Roots are all over the place in the containers, so I'll be ready to plant them as soon as the fear of frost is over. I also previously built a raised bed bucket stand so I could grow peppers in buckets. I've now brought those buckets inside and placed them near a window and should have peppers ready to go when the weather is in my favor. In about a month, I'll start my tomato seeds in cups and let them sit under the fluorescent light on my kitchen counter. That'll give them a good start until I can move them to the screened porch and finally to the beds outside. My collards, sweet peas, and kale have already been planted and have taken off. I even have some volunteer sunflowers that have survived the cooler weather, so I'm all set. So you see, I have a lot planned for the rest of the year. See you next time.